Well, delighted to be joined this morning by Diane down there in the West Midlands, about 250 miles away, I think.
Yeah. Say
Something
that
like that.
again, you're too far away.
Say?
I said, say that again, you're too far away.
Yes, exactly. Yes. And I believe we both support Villa.
Yes.
Yes, yeah. Who unfortunately lost last night, but hey, listen, they're doing well. They're doing well. They're mid-table, so yeah.
Great fun.
No relegation worries this year for the Villa. So yeah, the channel that yourself and Jane, is it that have set up together? Jane is Sharper Than the Pencil, and
Yeah.
combined it's Speaking with Conviction.
Well, Speaking with Conviction is mine, and
Right.
Jane's
Right. Okay. So So sorry about that. Yeah. So
okay.
it's actually Speaking with Conviction that the slot will be under.
No, it's going to be under Jane's.
Oh, right. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm that's good. We're getting that sorted out. And
You alternate between our channels. That's why there's two.
You what saying?
We alternate between our channels.
Right. Okay. And can you tell us a little bit about how you first started off, with the idea of doing YouTube channels?
Well, it took a while because I know this event's going to be about the dude.
Yeah.
I remember one day Jane asked me if I would go on with Eric Owsley, and I was like, oh no, no, thank you. Like I was just not in that zone.
Yep.
And then I don't know how it happened. I think it was probably Mammothon I got invited on for as a guest.
Yep.
And no, actually, it was Linda. Linda invited.
Yeah.
Sorry, Linda. How could I forget? Luke the Queen first. Yeah, Linda invited me on as a guest there, and that was the first time I'd ever done a live. And then I just got enthusiastic for it. So me and Jane met up a few times because we don't live too far away.
Yeah.
And then we just decided to, make our own channels, but alternate between the two.
Yeah. When you first watched when did you first watch Making a Murderer?
I'd watched the first one. I think it was around the start of 2018. But I didn't really have time to. I know it sounds bad, but I didn't really have time to pay much attention to it, which sounds really awful now. And then the end of 2018, like I was at home, and that's when I started watching the second one.
Yes.
I saw Kathleen Zahn, and she's the one who made me sit up and pay attention, and actually, got me interested in following on Twitter. And then obviously I started talking to more and more people and realised that me sitting here thinking, what am I going to do about it? It's not that simple, is it? Like,
no, I mean, I must admit, when I started doing my YouTube channel, it wasn't so much that I was sort of inspired by the dude or Perplexed QT or Casey Martinez. It was just and also Juan Tescrew. I'd watched all those videos, and what I noticed was that being in the Facebook groups, you might write a post that it might be popular for a few hours, but then it gets sort of archived, as it were. It gets buried under all the other posts. And I thought I could really do with a little bit more of a platform, if you like, to just to talk about the fact that I first emailed Robert Herman in March of 2016, and a month later I phoned him, and he took my phone call, and he took about a dozen phone calls from me between then and September, and I found him very pleasant to deal with, because as we've said all along, there's in their normal job, I'm sure that these police are really nice people, Jim Link and Andy Colburn. If if you broke down and you needed a tire change, they would do that for you. That it's just that when it comes to Stephen Avery, because he got the wrong side of them, they decide to bury him alive twice. And they don't care about the collateral damage of Brendan. So anyway, I decided that I did mention to the dude, I said, I will do one video. And he said, well, that's great. Yeah, do it. So he encouraged me to do that. And then when I did my one, I said, that's all I'm going to do. And he said, well, it's a shame, why don't you do a few more? If I respect your opinion, but if you want to do a few more. So I was just wondering how, for yourself, what was it that then made you decide that, yes, I will go ahead and start doing a YouTube channel?
I think it was because I went on with Linda,
yep.
and got a bit of a buzz for it.
Yes.
And then I think it was not long after that I went on to Mammothon with Ripper as a guest, and I really enjoyed that. And I thought, well, because my comfort zone was Twitter, because you've got a lot of control over what you say on Twitter, how you respond to people, and because sometimes I trip up over my words and stuff, and I get nervous and like my mind goes blank. So Twitter's a good place for me, because I can decide what to share, when to share, and I was enjoying that. And I thought, well, now I've enjoyed going onto YouTube and saying a little bit more and getting a bit more confident with it. I might as well go for it.
And what you've done is you're another good example of so many people that thought that they couldn't do it and it wasn't for them, and then they've tried it once and they've realized, this is what Jerry Buting sent as a message to everybody at the rally at Manitowoc. These bad actors in this case, they're like vampires. They hide from the light. What you're doing by, doing all these events is that you are shining a light on them.
Yeah.
And, you've got to keep shining that light on them. So it's almost like a noble cause, isn't it? But it's not quite like that. I mean, we have a bit of fun as well along the way. But yeah, what we're doing is highlighting the fact that we can see the wonkiness of the two convictions. The world can see the wonkiness of the wonkiness, by the way, is a technical term as used by the dude and Brendan, apparently. Okay. I once got told I've only ever heard two people use that word, the dude and Brendan. So, yes, it's a complex legal term, I believe. Wonkiness, isn't it?
Oh, okay.
In fact, have you not progressed towards law?
I was supposed to be starting my master's, which I did in September last year.
Yeah.
But I had a lot of personal stuff going on, behind closed doors type thing.
Sure.
So I've put that on hold for a little while.
Right.
So once everything settles down, I will be going back to that again.
That's interesting. So would it be fair to say that, as you've already mentioned her name, Kathleen Zellner, she's like an inspiration as well, isn't she?
She's my main inspiration. That's why I never ever thought that. Well, once upon a time, I never thought that I could be a nurse, and I am now. And that, I never thought that I could be involved in something like this and actually be, like, a big part of it. Like, I've met so many great people and I really enjoy doing this. But if you'd have told me a couple of years ago that I'd be doing something like this, I'd have probably laughed in your face.
Wow. I remember.
And to be looking at law as well. Like, what I wanted to do that when I was younger, but I've just never felt capable.
It's funny. We, a while back, might have been a year or two ago, Eunice has watched both Making a Murderer more than once. She's a big Kathleen Zellner fan, and I said one day, I want to watch this Dream Killer, and I never let on that Kathleen Zellner was in it, and then when Kathleen Zellner, she let out a cheer. Because she knew then that justice would end up being served, and of course,
Yeah. Well, how refreshing is that though? Like, to know that when someone's involved, you know that they're going to get what they're set out to get. Like, that's something that really, you know, inspires me about her. The grit that she's got behind her, the fact that she would just say, I am going to pursue this until I get Stephen out. And
Yeah.
that is really, like, impressive to me.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, there's so many people out there that are wrongfully convicted that need a Kathleen Zellner, you know, Stephen
Yeah.
Avery, Ryan Ferguson, you know, she's had 20 exonerations. It's just mind-boggling. But well, it was like when I was watching Making a Murder Part 1, the whole of Series 1, and I've mentioned this many times. I was naively waiting for the happy ending, for, you know, to see what happened and to see that, you know, justice finally came along. But it's like, hold on a sec, you know, at first you're thinking, well, this is just dodgy Manitowoc, and the FBI will step in and they'll, you know, they'll say, oh, no, this is all wrong, you know. But no, the FBI with Mark LeBeau are quite happy to come up with this completely bogus EDTA test, you know, just to try and, you know, just to try and back down Dean and Jerry's suggestion that the blood in the RAV4 could have been planted from the tube, and it just makes you understand how far they're willing to go. And it was interesting, that, wasn't it? Jerry Buting actually in interviewing Mark LeBeau says, you know, about the fact, you know, you were sent so many swabs, you know, do you think you know, that it's all it would all be Stephen Avery's blood, all, you know, the EDT would be an all, and he said, yeah, you know, I'm happy with what I said. And Jerry says, I just wanted to know how far you were prepared to go. You know, he knew how corrupt Mark LeBeau was in coming along and trying to present this ED.
What if, sorry, my internet went a bit jumpy.
Sure.
What have they got to gain? What have the FBI got to gain from that?
Well, they're supposed to look out for corruption in public office, aren't they? You know, that's one of their stated aims.
Yeah.
But you know, they can be used as it were, you know, for not so good means. Remember that confession killer where the FBI got involved in pursuing Vic Purcell?
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, the Texas Rangers didn't like the fact that he was saying that, you know, this Henry Lee Lucas, no, he couldn't have done this, you know. Next thing you know, you've got the FBI, you know, trying to make him out to be the bad guy. It's all about power struggles, isn't it? You know. Yeah, I mean, yeah, as I say, I was just waiting for somebody to come along and sort of put a stop to all this rubbish that they were perpetuating, you know. I mean, I knew for a fact that there's no way that any human body was burned behind Stephen's garage. You know, it just it doesn't happen. You don't cremate to that extent in a 2.5 hour bonfire, no matter how big, you know. I mean, if people are saying I saw a big bonfire, I'm waiting for the, you know, well, did you see the big tanker, the big petrol tanker, so that he was constantly putting petrol on the fire to make this big fire? Because, you know, it's just ridiculous. But sorry, you touched on something a moment back about you got involved in Twitter. So if you could tell us a little bit about the tweeting campaign, if that's what it is, or trending or whatever.
Yeah, well, a couple of years ago, we did, a few of us off Twitter did a Twitter storm, the hashtag Wake Up Wisconsin. And because there was a lot of us together, all tweeting at the same time, we got it trending in the UK.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's possible that this is why. And then Kathleen tweeted the other day to say, you know, the more people who hear, the less they can hide, type thing.
Yes.
And
absolutely.
when I see things like that, just pops ideas into my head randomly, and I was like, okay, let's do a tweet storm then. Like, time for a tweet storm, and it's had quite an all right response on Twitter. There's a lot of people seem to be interested, so this is why today at 10 o'clock tonight, UK time, if we all get onto Twitter, and if you're not on Twitter, go and make an account and even just tweet hashtag keep talking till they're walking. That's all you need to put, and get it trending, so that it draws a bit of attention. Because if people regularly go on to trending things and say, oh, what's trending, if they say keep talking till they're walking and they come and have a look at the things, it will draw attention to the case again. And obviously it'll draw attention to your event as well, Paul.
Yep. Oh well, it's not my event. It's our event, and it's very much our event. But yes, I suppose Mark was I was chatting to Mark, and I said we should maybe get a if we're not doing a mammothon this year, we should maybe do something for the dude, and the opportunity to promote his advocacy foundation. In fact, it's funny you've when you're saying about not having a Twitter account, go and make one. It's like the dude wanted, in trying to promote people to do their own videos, not necessarily to set up their own channels, but that's the next bet. That's the next step up. You do a couple of videos, so you end up with your channel, which is what Speaking with Conviction, Jane Sharp the pencil is. He even did a video in his studio. It was completely empty. All it was the walls were whitewashed. That's because he built that from scratch. In his back garden. And I remember when he fitted the air conditioning unit, and he put these sort of fake pipes, and he called it the pump, the punk steam effect, You see all these, you see those pipes behind me? They're just fake. They don't actually do anything. They're just there for decoration. I remember when that room was completely empty, and all he'd got in the middle of the room was a table and his iPhone. And he said, and this is how you can make a video. You just put your iPhone like that and just talk to it, record it, and upload it. And he said, and if you don't know how to do it, if you're, say, dare I say, of an older generation, ask your son or your daughter or your grandkids or your nephews and nieces. You'll know somebody who will know exactly what to do. No excuses.
Exactly. And that's how I feel like if people aren't used to Twitter and like they want a bit of guidance, like feel free to find me on Twitter and come and ask me. I'd be happy to help. And if for the tweet storm tonight, I've put a tweet. So if you click on my profile, you can see the pinned tweet, and it's got the hashtag keep talking till they're walking in there. If you click on that, it takes you to all of the other tweets that other people have done. And then in the bottom right-hand corner, if you're doing it on a phone, you can press generate tweet, and it automatically puts that hashtag in so that you don't get the spelling wrong and stuff like that. So everyone's using the same spelling as well, which is important because that's what gets it trending.
Sure. Okay. Well, we look forward to that. I'll certainly be tweeting later on today. And does it help if you retweet somebody else's tweet?
It is ideal, but I think from what I've read, it's better to generate new tweets, because the more people who are tweeting about the same thing, the better. So yes, it's great to retweet, but if you generate new tweets, that's what counts. And Excellent. It has to be not a stretched out, it has to be in like a condensed time. That's why I've put 10 o'clock. So if everyone does it at 10 o'clock and keeps going, it then, I think it's like every 15 minutes, it checks who's tweeting what, and that's how it works it out.
Right, okay.
Get it trending.
So using Big Brother to our advantage.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay, well, I'm going to let you go to enjoy the rest of the morning.
Thank you.
I know you've already been busy, but I was up at stupid o'clock with this dog of mine. We were out the house by 6:15 this morning.
Fair play.
Yeah, it's it's been hard work, I can tell you. I just hope I get to benefit later on when I get on the scales, step on the scales, which I have avoided for quite a while.
Oh well. Now is the time, Paul.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. So anyway, let's just recap then. So for yourself and so I've got here Princess Jane and Lady Di, studio number 1, of course. That's the one with the biggest changing rooms, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah, you've got studio 1, and that's at 4:00 Central Standard Time in America. It's at 10 p.m. UK time, and for those in Australia, it's 7:00 in the morning. And we're not going to divulge yet who's actually going to be on with you, but it'll be something to look forward to. So anyway, thank you so much, Diane, and we'll I'll watch out for the Twitter storm. And
yeah, we can also start 4 p.m. Central Time tonight.
yes, that's right. There's a 6-hour difference between UK and Central Time. That's right. Okay. Yeah. Thanks very much, Diane. We'll see you soon. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye bye.